Now we're going to talk about thermodynamics. Thermodynamics has to do with how internal energy is affected by different things. So thermodynamics is really the study of energy. You often hear about the first law of thermodynamics, which says the energy of the universe is constant. It sounds a lot like the law of conservation of energy, doesn't it? Well, they're kind of based on each other. But what are we talking about when we're talking about internal energy? Well, internal energy is the sum of the potential and kinetic energy in the particles of a system. So in chemistry terms, that has to do with the chemical energy that's stored in bonds and the kinetic energy due to motion from higher temperature. So something's got a higher temperature has more internal energy. Chemicals that have tighter bonds have more energy than chemicals that don't. And so thermodynamics really takes into account the sum of this. So the internal energy of a system can be changed by the flow of energy. So if there's a reaction that gives off heat, energy flows out. And also by the flow of work. If you compress a system and do work on it, that squeezes the molecules closer together, increases pressure, and increases temperature due to friction. But you can also have a combination of both. So we simplify that really by saying that the change in energy, meaning the energy that flows in and out of the system, is due to the work, due to the heat energy plus the work that either enters or leaves the system. So obviously, if Q is positive, that increases the energy of a system, meaning that energy is put in. If Q is negative, that means energy is leaving the system, because that makes delta E smaller. Likewise, work. If work is done on the system, that puts energy in. If work is done by the system, that means energy leaves. So this little table here should kind of summarize this, because this term is really kind of tricky and not very logical. Anyway, delta E is a change in energy in the system in joules. So we've got a formula here. Q is the heat energy in joules that flows in to the system. If the energy flows out, Q is negative. Work is the energy in joules done on the system. If any work is done by the system, W becomes negative. So that's really what we need to know for thermodynamics.